Do you hear that? What a creepy, creepy place. This place is so incredibly unique. The rock formations here are just out of this world. It's literally an alien landscape. So I'm at a place called Mono Lake in California. The lake is surrounded by these really unique rock formations. I think they're a calcium deposit. Talk about an interesting, unique foreground. What I like about this place is there's no one obvious composition. There's just a million different compositions to be had, and that kind of gets me excited because I want to do something original. It's also very cold. I'm wearing 2 winter hats. It's 3 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I was not prepared for how cold it is, but I need to scout around, find a composition, see if we can find something we like. So one of the hardest parts of shooting here is there are so many compositions to be had. It's interesting in every direction. I love these really tall, skinny ones. And I would love to get a couple in the foreground of this island that we have out here. But we don't have a lot for sky right now. So I'm gonna wander around and see what we can find. So there's 2 interesting things happening out there. There's some Canadian geese that are kind of out on that rock island, and then there's a whole bunch of steam coming up off of the water. So I'm going to switch over to a telephoto lens, see if I can get some cool silhouettes out there with that steam. So it's starting to look like things are lining up really nice to get a nice sunrise opposite where the sun's coming up. We have that big open sky over by the sun, and then over this way we've got nice clouds to catch that light. So we need to find a composition looking that way so we can utilize these clouds once they start to light up. This water is very, very nasty. I've got my water shoes on along with my neoprene socks, and I came here last night and shot a little bit, and this stuff is so gross. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to throw these shoes away afterwards. It's really gross. So I'm just going around trying to get as many compositions as I can before the sun comes over the horizon. Because once it does, there's gonna be a really harsh light, and sometimes when you have all this texture, that's a bad thing. So I'm trying to get as many as I can. I have a cool composition over here that I really like. I like to put one of those really pointy ones kind of as my background. And we got a little color happening back there, so I'm gonna try to get set up. I think those are going to be my favorite, to be honest. I got a pretty cool vertical and horizontal shot. Oh man, way over there, you see the light hitting the mountains? Way, way over there. It's gorgeous. We got to find a way to put that in the background. See what we can do here. This is not one of those times where you get set up and then you just wait for the light to change. And you just shoot the same composition over and over, because there's so many here. You can come away with a whole bunch of shots. You just gotta move with the light. Oh man, that light back there is killer. So what's happening is the really high clouds caught light first, and now it's creeping down these mountains. Now, it's gonna start to hit these low clouds. I'm gonna go back and reshoot my favorite composition once those clouds light up. But I gotta hurry, because it's not gonna last long. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Now we're getting it. Check that out. Beautiful. So now the sun's up and it's changed things dramatically. Once it came up, I kind of wandered around and I've been shooting with the sun. I don't shoot tons of black and white, but if I did, these would be ideal conditions because our foreground is so illuminated and so bright compared to the sky back there that it's just going to be a really high contrast, really good black and white shot. It's starting to flatten out a little bit. I think I'm ready for coffee and maybe a warm car. But oh, what a beautiful place. If you're ever in Southern California, you have to come here. This is my first time other than last night. I've never been here before, but it's been on my list for a long time, and it is so much fun to shoot. There's just so many different subjects. When you get light like we did this morning, it's just beautiful. It's all about just abstract textures and crazy formations. So we're going to go get coffee, hop in the car, and drive to Death Valley. I'm excited about that. So we have made it to Death Valley National Park. Right over there we have Mesquite Dunes, and we're going to be hiking all the way over there. And I've never been to any of these places before, so I came way early just so I can kind of get a feel for finding compositions. I have no idea how long it's going to take to walk all the way over there. And I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of work climbing sand dunes because those things are huge. Anyways, we made it. We're going to get packed up and head over there. Now that I'm out here, I realize I didn't park in the best place. Could have parked over there rather than over there and walked about half as far. It's like a long ways out here. But so far it's been pretty easy hiking. It's pretty packed and firm. It's gonna be a lot harder once I get to those dunes. Also, you may have noticed I brought these guys. It's the first time I've ever used hiking poles. Always kind of thought they looked stupid, but I think it'll probably help when I'm climbing those dunes. We made it. Check out the view. So I've discovered a couple things. Poles help when you're climbing steep hills in the sand and you're not getting good traction. Poles are really nice. And it's going to be tough to find a composition. There's just so much going on, and trying to find not only a photogenic dune, but a dune that is pointed in the right direction to where there's going to be shadows cast, and finding one that doesn't have tracks like this here. This would be a great shot, except it's got tracks all down the spine of it. It's a really common problem out here. That's why you got to hike way deep into the dunes, is to find ones that don't have footprints through them, because it ruins a shot. I've probably already walked a couple miles. Might have to go at least one more to get out past all these footprints. Got lots of daylight, we still got time. I guess I'm gonna keep walking. It's gonna be a long walk back though. Should be worth it. So after about 3 miles of walking through these dunes, I think I've found the spot that we're gonna end up shooting. It is so difficult to find a dune that is not only, photogenic and has a nice curve to it, but hasn't been walked on. There's so many footprints out here because we haven't had any big windstorms here lately. But this is where we are right now. I'm gonna be shooting telephoto. The sky is pretty much empty in the direction of the sun. There's not going to be much going on that way. We might get something over here later on, but for the most part, there's not going to be much color at all. So I'm just not going to include the sky. I'm going to try to shoot everything telephoto, eliminate the sky, and make everything about, you know, lines and shapes. So we've got a few minutes till sunset. I'm just gonna hang out, drink some Gatorade, and sit on my butt until the light is a little better. I've already taken a bunch of telephoto shots, and now before that sun gets too low, I'm gonna switch over to the 16 to 35 and do some wide angle shots. When you're changing your lenses in a sandy environment like this, you gotta do it fast and try to shield your camera at least a little bit. Hopefully I didn't get any sand in there. So let me show you what I got going on here. I'm getting really down, really close to the sand here and exaggerating this foreground. And I'm gonna have that crest come right into the corner of my frame, and that's gonna feel really cool. And I'm trying to put the sun just out of frame. That way it's not overpowering the shot. One of the nice features of the 5D Mark IV is when I'm focus stacking, I can just touch where I want to focus and it takes my shots. So I'm focus stacking and exposure blending to deal with the dynamic range. And then I'm going to make sure that I shoot both vertical and horizontal shots. And now I think it's time to move. We'll see if we can get a different composition before the sun goes away. Well, what light we did have is kind of gone. We have some wispies back here. I'm not hopeful that they're gonna catch any light. So I'm gonna start walking kind of back towards the car. If I see something on the way, I'll shoot it, but I've got so far to go. I kind of want to get started on the walk back. Hopefully I'll find some kind of composition on the way back to the car, but we'll see. This morning I actually didn't get up to shoot sunrise. I was too lazy, too tired, too sore from all the hiking I had done. I've been doing some scouting out in some of these salt flats and the mud flats that they have here in Death Valley. I'm hiking out to a place that doesn't really have a name, but I've seen lots of great photos from it and looking forward to going out here. I scouted it this morning, hiked around for like 3 miles, looking for the best patches. I think I got some good spots picked out, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let's hike out here and hopefully our sky cooperates today. It could go either way, I think. So we've made it to our shooting location. This is some unnamed place that I don't even know exactly where it is. But the reason we're here is we have all of this amazing mud tile. And some of it is like incredibly large and incredibly deep. before the sun went back behind the mountain, I got some really nice direct light shots, and I think those could be some of the best shots we get because it was illuminating our foreground, and then we had this really dark sky, really nice oranges mixing with the dark blues, and it made for some really cool shots. Now we're waiting to see if we're gonna get color. It sure looks like we are, which is exciting. So I'm gonna try to find some compositions for if and when the sky lights up. I'm pretty hopeful though, it looks like it's gonna. So we'll see what we can find. So we got some good shots, and I kind of failed you guys because I started shooting with some other people, and the funny thing about when you're photographing with other people, it's really hard to do the vlog. You get really self-conscious about talking to a camera in front of a bunch of other people. But so that night we got really nice color, and I shot several different compositions that I was happy with, I think. Then the following morning we went out to Badwater Basin, which is this place with a whole bunch of salt formations, and normally it's just like these salt hexagon formations, but because it had rained recently, we got some water on top of that, and it could have been really cool, except we had no sky to speak of, none whatsoever. So yesterday I started headed back north, kind of back towards me, and I hit up Mono Lake one more time, and we got some great color. There's actually some lenticular clouds in the mountains that were kind of across the lake. I don't know if I got any good compositions. At least we got some nice color. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I didn't get as much footage as I would have liked. If you're ever in Southern California, both Death Valley and Mono Lake are excellent to photograph, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, thanks so much, guys.